Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the Weekly Pint. I'm your host, the Gnarly Gnome. If you are new to this thing we do, this live show, it's a happy hour. It's an excuse for us all to hang out together, have a drink, and enjoy each other's company. But it is a show, which is why I was determined to have one today, even though we just walked in the door from a busy weekend of camping. So I'm feeling way out of sorts. Chaos from trying to get everything unloaded from the car, dump it in the middle of the living room. So there's just a mound of tents and cooking stuff and dirty clothes and clean clothes and toys and just everything you can think of is just this big giant mountain in the middle of the room right now. And then coming down here and throwing all of this together and trying to make sure we were ready to go live. So I'm feeling just way out of sorts. In addition, I didn't prep a lot of content for the show because I was camping. So, but because it's a happy hour, hopefully you guys know how to do this. You jump on, tell us what you're drinking. I'll crack open a beer here in just a second and we'll have a drink together. And I do have a couple things to talk about, but anytime you want to talk about something, just chime into the chat and I'll pull that up in a second. Or you can, I did turn the phone lines on, so you can call in here to the show. It's 567-70-DRINK. It's 567-703-7465. You can call in and take part that way. Or the chat pops up for a second, goes away. It'll come right back. The chat appears here on the screen. You can listen that way. If you are listening to the show later via the podcast feed, well, thank you. But just know that you can always tune in on Monday nights, normally around 9:30-ish. We are, 25 minutes late? Whatever. But around 9:30 typically, we jump on and we do this thing live, and it is fun to do live. So do that if you like the podcast. Let's see. Marco is having a truth. Josh says, hello, everyone. Then he comes back and tells us that he just finished a Blood of the Unicorn. That is a red IPA from Pipeworks. And then grabbed a Bodhi from Columbus Brewing Company, which sounds delicious. And then Julia is having the Sensitalia Pilsner. If you guys are not familiar with that, listen to last week's episode. I think that's what I was drinking. Let's see. Elijah is drinking Hibagon. That is his Missing Link Ginjo beer. That is a sake beer hybrid. That sounds delicious. And then Marco points out that it is a Dippa to Josh, who is drinking Bodhi. If anybody does not know, we call him a Dippa Josh because that's all he drinks is double IPAs. I'm going super predictable for me. I'm going with a lager. I've been drinking a lot of lagers this weekend. That's not all I drank. We will talk about what I drank this weekend while we were camping in just a minute. But I'm going to crack open this watermelon lager. This is from Wiedemann Brewing Company from their Wizard Works series. These are not dated, so I don't know how fresh they are, but they were on the shelf, and I have had it, and it was good then. So I am going to drink it. Let's see. The artwork is pretty crazy here. Wizard. Oh, wait, there is a date. There is a date, and it is not good. It's a lager. They tend to be a little more shelf stable than other styles. The date on this, if I had seen this, I probably would not have picked it up. Is 7/7 of 2022. So it is almost a year old. If you are a beer store and you are filtering in beers that are a year old with your fresh beers, I don't know that that's nice. I don't know that that's a good thing to do. So I'm not going to say where I bought this beer from, but it was not from the brewery. It was from a beer store. Anyways, we're going to crack open anyways. It's probably fine. I don't know what Wiedemann would say their shelf life for their beers is, but I bet it's not a year. To be fair, it's not quite a year. What, 10 months? Almost 11 months. All right. I mean, it still smells like watermelon. I guess that's a good thing. That is on the right track. Let's see. It is slightly hazy, but yeah, it looks like a lager. We're drinking out of a common beer company glass. Julia says, not going to expose the store. Sigh, puts the pitchfork away. If you guys know anything about me, if you listen to any of my shows, you know where I typically am buying my beer almost all the time. So it shouldn't be that much of a shock where I bought it from. Yeah, it definitely smells like watermelon too, like watermelon candy kind of artificially. Maybe maybe some grassiness going on too. It's also very hard to smell anything over my own funk since I have not showered for I don't know what 3 days, something like that. The joys of camping. All right, I'm gonna drink this. Yeah, not super fresh. There's still some watermelon going on there. Um, it's fine. It's fine. It's definitely a little past its prime. Not what I remember it being sitting in the tap room. Probably last year when I drank it last summer. Um, Always check your dates, and if you can't find it on the can, keep looking. Or I don't know. I don't know if I would say if you can't find a date on a can, put it back. But this one was kind of hidden. So when you look at it, typically the dates you'll find them on the bottom of the can, and this does not have any. It is over here. You can't really see that, but it's over here is where the date is. There it is. So, old beer. It's all right. Marco says, how many cigars did you have? What is your favorite cigar brand and type? I didn't really count how many cigars. We usually average probably, this is going to sound bad, probably like 3 or 4 a day, typically. And then I'm also a pipe smoker. So I'll puff away on a pipe while I'm making breakfast and things like that, just when I don't really want to smoke a cigar. So I probably, in total, between Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so 4 days, I don't know, 15 maybe. I don't know. A lot of cigars. We go through a lot, and a lot of beer. That's really kind of the extent of our camping experience. Of course, I mean, we putz around and kind of have campfires and things like that. But most of the time, we sit around and we shoot guns and drink heavily and smoke cigars. And cook, eat food. We like to make all kinds of fun food. The kids we do scavenger hunts and things like that for them. They ride around on a 4-wheeler and things like that. My oldest brings lots of Barbies and a Barbie camper, and the Barbies just camp and she plays with that. The boy just tries to destroy whatever he can destroy, which he's very good at. Craft Parenting Joe says, sorry I'm late. Drinking Masthead Brewing's Svartalfheim Schwarzbier. What a name. Svartalfheim? How's that sound? Svartalfheim. That's what I'm going to call it. I love Schwarzbier. You guys know that. I did last week. I don't know if that was probably after the Weekly Pint, I guess, that I got to try their Schwarzbier, and it was really good. I enjoyed it. Very roasty. It was kind of big roast, which I enjoy. But if you don't, well, you may not like it as much, but that was good. I haven't tried the other kind of classic styles that they just released yet. Marco asked, what is my favorite cigar brand and type? I don't have an actual favorite, really. I don't have like a go-to. I do have the cheap ones that I always keep on hand, especially this time of year. They're called Quorum is the brand, Quorum. Quorum, something like Quorum, and then Quorum Shade is what I go with. And I like typically size for a cigar. I like Corona. They're a little smaller. I'm a very slow drinker and a slow cigar smoker, so I need something smaller so that I'm not sitting there for hours while everybody else is done with their cigar. So typically I go something a little smaller, but I like, so I always keep those on hand, especially if I'm mowing the grass or something. It's a cheap cigar, so I don't feel bad if I smoke half of it and then kind of toss the other half out. With that being said, I like to have a little bit of a variety, so I can just try new things, similar to kind of how I drink beer. I like always trying new stuff. So there's always just a complete random assortment of cigars in the humidor. And I do have a very obnoxiously large humidor. It's an old mini fridge that holds hundreds of cigars. So there's always all kinds of stuff to experiment with. And we do tend to kind of jump around on camping trips because we're just kind of sitting around outside the whole time, and there's not a lot else to do other than drink and smoke and eat. We ate some great food yesterday. We smoked a couple pork butts, 18 pounds of pork butt to be exact, because we had a lot of people that joined us just for dinner yesterday night. So we made a lot of extra food, but man, it was good. Fried some fish. What else did we make? We smoked some chicken the first night. And in addition to smoking the chicken, we also grilled a bunch of steak. So we had steak and chicken because why not? We have enough people that all kind of camp together all at the same time. We have this little camping village we set up, and so when you have that many people, it's fun because you can make a lot of different types of food and then kind of share stuff around. You don't have to just kind of be stuck with one thing. So lots of food. Marco says beer can chicken. No, that is, so this typically, so my father-in-law was the one that did the chicken. He loves smoking chicken. He usually does beer can chicken. And this year we were sitting around on Friday night and he was talking about dinner the next day, and he's like, I don't really want to do the beer can chicken. It's a pain in the ass getting them off the beer cans and makes a huge mess, and just don't really want to deal with it. And so I said, well, I think that the beer can is a bunch of crap anyways. Like, I don't think that that it really does a lot to your chicken. I think that as long as, especially if you're smoking it, where you're already, if you're going to go kind of low and slow with it, you're going to be able to keep it moist, and you don't need to just shove a beer can up its butt to do it. So we didn't use beer can chicken. We just, smoked it, and it was moist and perfect. Joe says, I had a grape-flavored cigar once. It tasted like cardboard. I don't think I did it right. No, the grape-flavored cigars, not great, in my opinion. I'm sure that there are lots of people that love them, but whatever. Josh says, it gives a use for terrible beer. Yeah, I mean, you can. If I'm going to cook with beer, beer can chicken is pretty far down the list of things that I want to do with it. I'm more likely to marinate something in it, or turn it into some kind of a sauce, or just use it to spritz something while it's cooking. Soak some brats in it, something like that. It's a pain. And I really, we talked again about this last week when we were talking about the beer can chicken beer that was it Purdue, whoever collaborated on. I don't think it's good for you. I don't think it's good to shove a beer can inside of your food and then cook it at a high temperature. It just doesn't seem right to me. But what do I know? I am definitely not a scientist. So do whatever you want. As far as what I drank this week, and we could talk about that a little bit, because I did, we, mostly me, drank a lot of beer. I brought a few different six-packs that I worked my way through, some garage beer, and then some other stuff. But I brought, as far as beer, I brought the Watermelon Goza from High Grain, which was great. I drank a Huevo from Mad Tree, the Mexican lager. I should have written this down. What was the third six-pack of craft that I had? Nelly's from Taft's. And then, like I said, a bunch of garage beer. And then I brought, I was at the store and kind of was very curious about the Sunny D seltzer. So I got a 4-pack of that. And spoiler for the video that I'm working on right now, the vlog. But it was kind of fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It did not taste like Sunny Delight very much at all. It was kind of like a lighter version of Sunny Delight. Like, it definitely had that kind of orange, that fake orange flavor. But the fact that it was carbonated and light and effervescent and kind of pulled it away from the Sunny Delight thing so much that I thought it was great. Point being, I thought it was really good. I would have drank the entire 4-pack if my wife didn't force me to give up 2 of them. So I only got to drink 2, but it was really good. She got a bunch of White Claw, and I did drink a couple of those just out of curiosity. I had a watermelon. I had a strawberry. The strawberry's terrible. I whatever. It's White Claw. You get what you get. And then a black cherry. Something else. Anyways. I heard that was your nickname in high school. Which one? To Josh. I love Sunny Delight. Sunny Delight was his nickname. Got it. Watermelon weekend. Yeah, we had a lot of watermelon. We had actual watermelon too, but my kids ate it all. I didn't get any of it. I even brought tahine for the watermelon because it is delicious. And my kids just ate every single bit of it before it even made it to me. So, whatever. As long as they're eating, I don't care. They are both still awake, too. That was the other bad thing about getting home and then immediately running down here. I didn't put the kids to bed, so they're both like upstairs if you hear noise. Hopefully they are so exhausted that at some point they just pass out, and then when I go upstairs, I just have to toss them in bed if my wife doesn't do it already. Joe says it's that way with berries at our house. Yeah, I don't know the last time that I've been able to eat a strawberry here at home because my kids go through them so fast. They will sit there, either one of them, with an entire pint of strawberries and just eat the entire thing, like as a snack. They go through so much, which is fine when strawberries are cheap at the store. But when it's in the middle of winter and it's like $7 for a pint of strawberries. That's an expensive snack. And of course, you can't just not get it for them. Anyways, like I mentioned earlier, I don't have a ton of news that I pulled because I was camping, and not only do we not have great cell phone reception, I just don't want to be on my phone. So I didn't pull a lot. However, leading up to the weekend, I don't know what day it was. Today is the 29th, maybe Friday. I don't know. Whenever the news popped up that Funky Buddha is reacquiring the company from Constellation Brands. I thought it was a great topic because we've kind of been talking about things like that happening for the last few weeks. Marcus says still Monday. Did I say Monday? I said Friday. On Friday was when the news appeared, I think. I thought it was interesting just because we're seeing more of this, and I still don't know if it's just a coincidence that these things are happening kind of all at the same time, or if it is a bigger trend that we're starting to see with some of these acquired brands, and people wanting them back, or these bigger breweries realizing that, or bigger brewing conglomerations, whatever you want to call it, are realizing that some of these brands are just not worth the hassle of having them, and that they can get a little money for them and kind of focus on something else. It's really interesting to me, but the press release, I did pull that up in front of me. It says the founders of Funky Buddha Brewery, Ryan and Casey Sintz, are reacquiring their Oak Island Park, Florida-based business from the Constellation Brands. From Constellation Brands, not the Constellation Brands. Both the Sintzes and Constellation agree that now is the ideal time for the original owners to reclaim control of the company and focus on beverage innovation, new consumer experiences, and additional product lines. Its flagship beer portfolio, including Floridian and Hopgun, will remain available for distribution, and the founders are excited to introduce new products. Beverage innovation has always been a bunch of quotes that don't really say much. As we approach our 10th anniversary, it seems like the perfect time for our business to evolve and reignite the community's passion for craft beverages. From traditional styles to experimental ales, Funky Buddha makes beers that create an experience, celebrate being different, and always keep things funky. The brand was acquired by Constellation Brands in 2017 and has had a successful partnership that expanded the brand's distribution. That's the part that I'm curious about. Let's see if it says anything here. We enjoyed working with Constellation. We learned a lot from them. As we embark on the next chapter, we plan to push boundaries and create entirely new drinking experiences in beer and beyond. Man, that's interesting. Added Ryan Sintz, owner and co-founder, will be serving good vibes on tap for many years to come. I'm curious what this does for their distribution, because they did expand. And does this mean that expansion is going to shrink again, or are they going to be able to keep it up? And I don't have the answer for it. It doesn't say anything in the press release, but it is definitely interesting. And there is a lot of discussion in there about other beverages or product lines, new products, product innovation, drink innovation. Like, there's just, I don't know how many different ways they can say it in there about kind of the direction that the company is going. But that shouldn't come as a surprise, because that's the way everybody is going. Elijah says, I will always celebrate a brewery going back to independent. Yeah, that's, Constellation, after letting go of Ballast Point, and then now Funky Buddha, they still have some other craft brands. It is definitely interesting on their part to let some of that go. Craft Parenting Joe says, got to get that SEO up. It's I think it's bigger than SEO. It is definitely a real issue for a lot of breweries trying to figure out where they go as a company. When a guy like me that loves craft beer and drinks almost I shouldn't say, I can't even say that anymore, drinks a lot of craft beer. The fact that this weekend, yes, I drank craft beer, but I was also drinking freaking White Claw, and I drank Sunny Delight Seltzer, and I drank moonshine, and I drank whiskey, and I had a bottle of wine one night. The amount of different products that I'm consuming that's not abnormal for the average consumer. It is where things are going. Beer is not king anymore. It is all of the other stuff, especially spirits. And I think you're going to see a lot of breweries that were dragging their feet about moving into other beverage lines, I think you're gonna see them finally give up and be like, you know what, we have to diversify a little bit what we make. It won't be everybody, but you are gonna see a lot more of that happening, and it wouldn't surprise me that we're gonna see a lot of that from Funky Buddha going forward. But again, what do I know? I'm just a drunk with a microphone. But it was a fun weekend. I love camping. I love kind of unplugging a little bit. It's not completely unplugged, but we do our best. And I did try to shoot some video stuff. There's not much though, but you get to drink some Sunny D seltzer with me. Caroline says, I feel like craft beer drinkers are more likely to drink a diverse list of things versus macro beer drinkers, which is not always great for your local brewery. I would say yes, but also no. Like, I think while macro beer drinkers typically kind of stick to their brand of beer, I think that there are a lot of people that drink other beverage products that are also macro beer drinkers. So they may drink Miller Lite when they're sitting watching the game, but they're also whiskey fans, and they're also drinking seltzer and things like that. I think everybody is, honestly. I think every single drinker is drinking other stuff at this point. There's just there's a lot of exciting things happening in every kind of category right now, and people are seeing that and more willing than ever to jump in and try it. So that's what I think. But I don't think it's the end of craft beer by any means. But I think if you want to grow your business past a certain point, it makes sense to kind of look outside of that. Joe says more traditional beer for me. It's definitely I definitely drink more beer than I drink anything else. But I can't say that all I'm drinking is beer. Like, I am drinking a lot of other stuff, and it's very situational, and we could dig into that sometime. But it's definitely I am drinking probably more of a variety now than I have in a very long time. This week's Brewcast is up. We're on a roll, getting them up on time finally. This week, headed back up to Dayton, recorded with the fantastic Noah and Blake from Blake the Brewery Explorer podcast. We were at Toxic Brewing Company, but we weren't really doing a Toxic Brewing Company show. Just happened to be where we were. We just kind of talked about what they are doing with their podcast and what they love about craft beer. So that was fun. And then we have I'm tired. Next week's show, I am recording it tomorrow, so hopefully that'll be a fun show. I don't know what happens in the future, so we'll find out. It should be a good show. The topic is good. The brewery that I'm headed to is good. A new spot for me. I haven't been there yet. I know a lot of people haven't been there yet. Well, we don't want to spoil too much about where I'm headed, but yeah, you guys will like it, I think. So stay tuned for that. If you already know me, so those of you who are Patreon supporters, you get the episodes as soon as I get the video done. I'm throwing it up on YouTube and giving you the link to it if you guys haven't seen that already. So feel free to watch it on there ahead of time. If you catch something on there, I don't know if I've talked about this or not. If you catch a mistake or a missed edit or something like that, tell me, because gives us a little bit of a wiggle room then too, that I can still go back and edit the podcast episode and make sure I fix it before it goes out to everybody else. So do that. It helps. And the video episodes, even just in general, if you are not a Patreon supporter, the video episodes do go up every week with the podcast episode. And so if you prefer to watch it, watch it. If you prefer to listen to it, listen to it. Do whatever. Consume it however you want to consume it is kind of, that's my theory. So I'm making the video. So watch it if you want to. I've been recording videos for a while. We may actually you guys may start seeing some historical episodes pop up on YouTube also, just to put them up there since the full videos exist. Julia says, so I shouldn't wait to point those things out on Truth Beer Podsequences. If I hear something I think needs to be called out, certainly will let you know ASAP. It depends on what it is. If it's something that you think needs fixed, tell me. If it's just something that's funny, feel free not to. It 100% depends on what it is. Use your best judgment. It's part of the reason that I started doing the videos early, though, so that I have a chance to listen to it again, so that more ears can listen to it. In general, let's put it this way, not necessarily mistakes, just any kind of feedback. It gives you time to give me feedback ahead of time. Caroline says maybe remind him about show note stuff. It is very frequent that I update the show notes after the show goes live. Very frequent. And typically, so the show notes themselves, I don't think that's something that the podcast feed picks up on quickly. Like if I publish an episode at midnight on Monday like normal, and then we'll say at 5 a.m. I change the show notes, it's probably going to take a little while before it like populates back into everybody's show notes, if at all. If you already downloaded the episode, it's not gonna do anything. If you go to the website, obviously it'll have changed, but once you download the episode, it just is what it is. You got to delete the episode to get it again. So that's a problem. I recognize that. I need to be better about my show notes. There's just so much shit going on. Julia says, you want me to use my best judgment? That thing still tells me to touch a cactus every time I see one. Yeesh. Last week's episode published without a description. I had to add it in after the fact. I mean, it happens. It really does. It is. It's science. Anyways, that's really all that I have for you guys tonight. And frankly, I'm exhausted. My house is destroyed. My kids are insane, and I got to get up and work tomorrow. So, and record a podcast. So I have to clean the podcast studio. You guys can't really see how destroyed it is, but there's crap sitting here, and this whole side looks like some kind of a storm came through it. So I have to get all that picked up and organized before I dive into the work week. So that's that. Elijah says, Saturday's Missing Link Fest. So excited. I am so excited, and I hope I make it. I will definitely. I have 3 events that I really hope to get to. Dogberry is doing a party for their Mug Club members, and it's also the official grand opening of their food partner, Boombox Sliders, which are just absolutely incredible. If you guys haven't been there to eat yet, full disclosure, I do work with them in my business side of life, but the food is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm going to try to get out there early, and then afternoon get over to Oakley for the Oakley Beer Fest. I think that'll be good. Going to record a podcast there, so that gives you guys a sneak peek of the following week's episode. So not this coming Monday, but the Monday after that, I guess, would be that episode. Let me check my calendar, make sure I'm telling you that right. Yeah, so that is, it would be the 12th, I believe, is the Oakley Beer Fest episode. If I'm looking at this calendar right. Yes. And then after that, if I don't hang out too late there, I'm going to try to swing by Missing Link to relax a little bit after what's going to probably be a very long day. So that's my plans. We'll see. We will see how it works. If you guys don't know already, sometimes things get a little chaotic in my life. Elijah says, I'll be in Northside all day Saturday. Feel free to find me and say hi if you are out Missing Link. I assume that goes for everybody on the chat. If you see Elijah, go say hi. Anyways, we'll talk to you guys next week, next Monday, unless there's something chaotic going on, which is very possible. But if I was able to figure out a way to make this show happen, I don't foresee anything next week that could stop it. So thank you guys. Thanks for the support. If you like this show or any of the shows I do, always remember that you can go to thenarlygnome.com/support and you can join the Gnomies, which is it's Patreon. Caroline says, is the Weekly Pint a new podcast feed? My apparently secret all the podcast feed stopped working. I will have to check and see why your all the podcast feed stopped working. It shouldn't have. It should be working just fine. But I don't know. I will check it for you. What podcast app are you using before I jump off and I can test it for myself. So hurry and tell me what your podcast app is, or send me a message afterwards. There is a super top secret all the podcast feed, which there are some people that share out the link to the show, and don't mistake what I'm saying here when I tell you this, because I appreciate anytime somebody ever shares out the link to my show. But when you share it out from the super secret all the podcast feed, people are going to get other shows that they don't necessarily want if they subscribe to that feed. Sometimes people don't want to listen to the Weekly Pint, or they don't want to listen to Drinking with the Gnome. They just want the Brewcast. So if you're going to share the show, share it from its actual feed or from the blog post on the website. If you're going to share it, share it. That's ridiculous. Share whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week. I'll see your chat next week. You'll see me here, same place, same time ish, 9:30 every Monday. Cheers, everybody. Have a good night. Go drink some beer. I did testing this weekend also. Not only does beer taste better when you're sitting outside in the sunshine, it tastes even better when you are camping and you're not showering. Science. That was my experiment this weekend. I do these things for you.